Hello and welcome to a Rhino course. This is going to be a beginner's course where we get to discuss the interface of Rhino and other tools on how to use the Rhino software for modeling. So Rhino is a modeling software just like we have a SketchUp, we have the Revit, we have other softwares. As you can see, the interface, it has kind of like an AutoCAD interface where you get to see the bars here, the O snap, the plan and all that. So first of all, what I would like us to get to our head first is how to maneuver around the interface, because that's one thing that everyone has to know in order to move around. So Rhino has a very simple movement while moving around the interface. So let's get to it and watch. So here let me show you first how to open a file, because I know some of us might not know how to get to this point. So let's click on new, then we click on large object centimeter. That's what I'll be using on this course. So we click on centimeter and we click on open, and that's what we have here. So we have the top view, we have the front view, we have the perspective view, and we have the right view. This is just the basic views you get. So to maneuver, I'll show you right now. So you can use your normal mouse scroll to zoom in and zoom out on any of the views, either the right or the perspective and all. Then for orbiting, since we are going to be working in the 3D view normally, so for orbiting we use the right mouse, the right button mouse to orbit on the perspective view. So for the hand movement, let's say you want to move the object. So you hold the shift key, and then you, with your mouse right key, you click. Sorry. You click. All right. So we also have the hand tool here, whereby so Rhino, just like every other software, while working on the 3D view, you want to pan or you want to orbit around the object. So in Rhino, you use the right mouse key to orbit around the perspective interface. So let's see how it's done. Okay, so Rhino, just like every other software, modeling software, where you get to orbit around your perspective view while working, Rhino has the orbit on the mouse right key. So you just hold down the mouse right key and you'll be able to orbit in the perspective view. Then for the pan, if you want to pan in the perspective view, you just have to hold down your shift key and your right mouse, and you can pan in the perspective view. Then while working in the top view and you want to pan, you use the mouse right key to pan. So this is how you pan. So that is all for the movement in Rhino. So I'm gonna take you through the interface right now. So right here we have the classic drop down menu, where we have the file, the edit, the view, the curve, the surface, the solid, and all that. So here now is a bit explanatory. The curve is the 2D forms, where you have the normal lines. Here we have the point object, we have the graph, we have the line, we have the polylines, and we have the rectangles. Then here you have the surface, which is the 3-dimensional, or sometimes can be 2-dimensional, where you have the plane and all. We are going to use all these tools to see how they work. So in Rhino, you can go from the curve, which is a 2-dimensional object, into this surface, which is either a two-dimensional object or a three-dimensional object, then into the subsurface. The subsurface is a combination of the surface, which is obviously a three-dimensional solid. So here we have the box, we have the sphere, we have the cylinder, we have the cone, and we have the rest. So just below the classical drop-down menu, we have the command. So in Rhino, we can work with commands. We can work with just by typing box on the command box and clicking on box. We can draw a box. We can draw a box. I'm still going to show you guys how to draw this properly, but for now I just want to show you how you can work with the box with the command. So this is a box that we just got from clicking from typing box into the command key. So the command key is something you can use when you are already conversant with the software, but you can also use the options right there in the surface to draw your box. Like this one, you can click on it, click on where you want your box to start from, and raise it up to any height you want. Alright, so I will just delete these objects and we can go back to where we started. So to delete, you just need to click on the object and press delete. You can see the command where it has delete on it. So, and it's deleted. It's pretty easy. So we're also going to delete this object. So you click on it and press delete on your keyboard. Alright, so to go back to the full view sheet, we just need to come to perspective, click the drop down, then go to restore. When you click on restore, it brings you back to the default interface. Alright, so the next thing we are going to look is the toolbar. The toolbar is just below the command box. The toolbar has different tools and they are arranged according to the specific function. So right here you can see the C plane. Then if it comes to visibility tools, you can see all the visibility tools. So Rhino has a very organized interface, although it might look somehow, but it's a very organized and planned interface. So you can click on the surface to see the edit. So the next thing we are going to look at is the toolbar. This is just beneath the command box. Here you have the tools arranged based on their specific usage. So if I want to go into the surface tool, I find all the tools I need to edit my surface. Here you have the fillet surface, the extend surface, the chamfer surface, and all. I would like us to model simple shapes like boxes in different styles. But before that, I would like to show you the sync between the top, the perspective, the front, and the right views while you are working. So we can do this using a solid. Let's click on a cylinder. By just click on a cylinder, you can see the points on each of the views. We have it on the top, we have it on the front, and we have it on the perspective. So we have the origin right here where the vertical line and the horizontal line join each other. So by clicking 0, enter, you are already in the origin. So now it's asking for diameter of circumference, area, project or snap, yes, and all that. This is the command. This is the command box. Any command you click from the toolbar reflects in the command box for you to edit. So you can make changes to it. So right now we can choose a diameter. We can decide to make our diameter 200, enter. and we have our diameter. Then the height. We can't notice any change in the top view because we are on the top, but we can see the change in the perspective view, we can see the change in the right view, and we can see the change in the front view. So we can add the height from the command box. That's the end of cylinder. We can decide to make it 400. Enter. Now we have a cylinder. You can see the top, you can see the front view, and you can see the perspective view. So by default, Rhino objects are in 2D vector graphics. They are like in wireframe. So we have options to take it to shaded and other type of mode that you might want to use. Right here, you can click on the drop down to put it in shaded. You can see the cone in shaded, or you can also click the drop down to put it in artistic. Hold on, it's loading. This is the artistic, or we can also use the pen. There are so many modes depending on what you want to work with. We also have the Arctic, which is a bit of my favorite, but we haven't added the color. That's why it's looking this way. Alright, so we also have the rendered when you might want to render. So you can't really differentiate the cylinder from the background because it's white, but I'll show you how to change the background as we move on. Alright, so next I said I want us to model boxes in different methods. So I will start with the first method, but first of all, let's delete this and have a clean workspace. Okay, so before I go into the modeling of the box, I would like to show you some bars beneath the workspace. Here we have the end, we have the near, we have the point, we have the mid, we have the center, and we have other options that we can check. These are very important while working with Rhino, just like how the auto and other buttons are important in AutoCAD or any other softwares. They are very important because they help to guide you on what you are doing. For instance, we have the point, we have the mid. This is the midpoint, which helps you find the midpoint of a line, of a defined line. We have the center, we have the intersection, we have and all. So at every point while working with Rhino, try to leave the end, the point, the mid, and some of these on because they help you to do a better job and they help to make the work. They help you make the work easier. Alright, so we have the near, which I hardly use. We also have the grid snap, the auto. So about the near, we can actually do your works without putting on the near. So you don't really need to turn on everything on the bar because it might get you into trouble while working with Rhino. So I will advise you leave the near and check every other thing on the here. Apart from the project, sometimes you might have to turn it on, you might have to turn it down. I will tell you all about this while we progress. Alright, so we have the auto here. The auto, I always like to leave my auto on. Auto gives you a straight line at 90 degrees, 180 degrees, just gives you a good angle. So we have the O snap, we have the smart tracker, we have the gumball. The gumball gives you a direction of what you're doing. Let me show you a quick one. So let's say we want to draw a box. So just like I did the other time, we go to command, click, type in box, then enter. So now we can draw a box from the origin, 0, enter. Okay. So this is our box now. And we can put it in shaded so we can see what we are doing. Alright, so without this gumball, you don't see any origin or direction you can move your objects with. But when you turn on the gumball, this appears, which you can use to move your object. You can click here and type in the number of meters you want it to move, and you can also move it up by clicking on the blue axis. Let's say we want it to move up to a height of 40 centimeters. You can see it's hanging. If you can look carefully, you can see the box is hanging. Okay, so let's continue. So that's what I normally turn on while working with Rhino. The O-snap, the smart track, and the gumball, and you'll be able to do a lot of curves and a lot of objects just with these stuffs on. So you don't necessarily need to turn on everything. You don't necessarily need to work without it. So always ensure that the O-snap and some of these are turned on. Or let's say you are watching a YouTube video trying to learn to create something. Always pay attention to the tabs below this and the point and all that, and check which of them is turned on and which of them is turned off, because they are very important while working with Rhino. Okay, let's get to modeling of the box. Okay, so for the modeling of the box, I would like to do this in my perspective view. So to maximize the perspective view, you just need to click on it, click the drop down and click on maximize, and you have the perspective view here. You can also go to the top view right down here, click on the top view, click on the top view, and you're in top view. Also click on the front view and also on the right view. I know that there is no much difference because they are all given a front view. Okay, so in the perspective view, to draw a box, let's start with using a line, a polyline. So we have some commands here. So this is the polyline. There's a drop down for some other options. So we are going to be using a line, a polyline. Let's click on it. Alright, so we can start from anywhere since we are just doing a little training on how to draw the box. Alright, so let's click on I just clicked, then you drag it. Let's say we want it to have a width of 400 centimeters. I press enter and I'll right click. Okay, so let's start with the modeling of the box. So I'll start with the use of polylines for the model of the box. Just like every other modeling software, Rhino doesn't have a specific way to model. So there are different ways by which you can model using Rhino. So I'll start with the modeling of box using the polylines, but I'll also show you other ways you can get a model of a box. So let's start with the polyline. We have the command here, polyline. We have to click the drop down because the first thing there is the single line. And if you just click on the polyline bar without clicking on the drop down, it will give you a single line, which is not what we want. We want to work with a polyline. So we click on the polyline and we're already in the command. So you can see start of polyline. So with this start of polyline, you can choose you can choose the origin. Let's choose the origin, for instance. So we press 0, enter, and we are in the origin. You can see the line. So let's say we want the width of the box to be 100 cm. So 100, that's the next point. You can see it at the command. Always look at the command when you are on a walk. Always look at the command so you see if there are any changes you can make to it or how you want it to be. So I have clicked the 100 and enter. Then after clicking enter, since it's a polyline, you still have to right click on your mouse. You have to right click. If you just decide to press escape, it won't work. You have to right click first. So I just right clicked and it gave me the point. So then we have to get the height of the box. Let's say 100, since it's a cube, trying to create a cube. So I've pressed the enter, but the point has not gotten a stay. So I still have to right click. Which I'm doing now, for the point to be stable. Then I just have to join it to the origin. Now I have a box. So we have a box now. For instance, let me go back. Let me do it again so you understand what I just did. So I'll just click on it and delete it. So we click on polyline, origin, that's 0, then 100, enter, right click, then 100, enter, right click. Then, for instance, we don't know, like we are a bit unsure if the line is at the origin already. We can drag it back, then we can drag it here to snap here, then we can draw it to the origin. So we already have our curve. So it's a 2D object. So to raise this into a box, because this is not a box, this is just a square, we come to the command and press and type in extrude curve. There are different options. You can see extrude curve along CRV, along curve, extrude curve tap. Then there are other options, but because it's a 2D object, we are going to be using the extrude curve. There is extrude surface. Extrude surface is used for a 3D object. That's when we have a box and we want to extrude it. That's where we make use of extrude surface. So I'm going to try and use extrude surface so I can show you what I'm talking about. Rhino is not going to understand what you are trying to do when you use extrude surface for a 2D object. So let me click on the extrude surface just to show you what I mean. So I'm trying to select it, but it's not going to select. You can see it's not selecting because I clicked on extrude surface. So the right option to choose is extrude curve because it's a 2D object. So let's click on the extrude curve and it says select curve to extrude. So you can easily click here and we have the curve. So you click on enter and you're already extruding. So you just have to choose a particular height. Let's say we want it to be, let's say 900 meters. I think that's too much. Let's go for 400. So don't be scared to clean while typing in the command. You can see I deleted. I'm cleaning and just taking out the zeros behind it. Don't be scared to do that. So we're going to go with 500. I already have 500 entered, so I'll press my enter key, and we have it's a very long one. So this is a way of going about drawing a box. Yeah, so we can put it in shadow to see what we did. So we can see that there is a hollow here. There's a hollow because we did not really check, we didn't make some changes at the command box while doing the extrusion. So I'm going to show you what we should have done if we want a solid because this is just a hollow, you can see right through it. So let's go back. So I just went back to the box. So we go to command, type extrude curve. We have extrude curve. Then when I click on the curve and press enter, there are options here in the command. That's why I said whenever you're working with Rhino, always be attentive to the options you find here. They are really relevant. So we have the output surface, direction, both side none, solid. The solid is in no. So that is why it had a hollow when I did the first one. So let's just click on the solid, just left click on the solid, and it changes to yes. I don't know if you can see it. So then that's the only thing we need to change to get the cube. There's no other. Everything is in order. So let's choose a lower height. Let's say 300. Enter. So you can see it, but let's be sure that there is no hollow. So we go to standard and we go to shaded. Oh, I think there's still a hollow here. So let's do it again and see. Let's do it again. Or let us do one beside it and see. Because sometimes let's do one beside it and see. So we have a hollow here. So let's do another cube. So let's do a random 10. So this is the surface. This is the curve because it's a 2D. So we don't call it surface. So I click on the command and enter in extrude curve, and it's already extruding. So this surface is still a no. So let's put it in yes. It's in yes now. So you can go for 300 again. 300, enter. So let's know if we did the right thing and on in the shadow. So now you can see this is a solid and this has a hollow inside. So that's why I told you have to be very careful on your commands while working with Rhino. Alright, so this is a way of creating. This is one way of creating a box. So there's another way of can actually cover this up. You can actually cover it up in case you don't have to go back here in order to cover this up. So there is this command called cap. So just have to come here, type cap on your keyboard. You can see it there, cap, enter. So it says select object to cap. So you just need to select this, and it says select object to cap, then press enter when done. So we have done that. So we just need to click the enter, and let's see if we have the cap on. So we can see that the cap is on, and we have two solids here now. So there are different ways you can go about this. So this is just the first way. So I'll leave this here and I'll start the second way you can go about drawing a box. Okay, so there are actually easier ways you can draw a box. Let me show you the easiest of them all. So here you have a box, is the option. So you can click the drop down. There are other options here. So we just click on box because that's what we want. So you click on the box and you have diagonal, 3 points, vertical, center. So diagonal 3 points means you have to select 3 points to get the box, which is a very good thing. Then we have the vertical, meaning that it's going up. So we can just come here, click, and click. That's not how I wanted it to go. So let's do it again. So click on the box, click, and click. So we orbit to see what we are doing. So this is a very simple way to draw a box. and you can see it's a solid already, so you don't need to do the regular changes here. So this is the second way I'm going to show you. So there are other ways I'll be showing you as you progress. Let's move on. Before I move on, I would like to show you how the extrude surface works and when to use it. Because if you remember, when we tried to extrude the curve, that's the square that we drew, we couldn't select the square while we were trying to select it in order to extrude it, because we used the extrude surface command. So I'll show you when it works and how to use it. So it works when you draw a surface, because the square we drew, then we used a polyline, which is not a surface, which is a curve. So it works when you use a surface. So let's click on rectangle. Let's click here, this option, then click on rectangular plane, corner to corner. So just click wherever you want. So now we have our rectangle. So to extrude this rectangle now into a solid, we can type in extrude surface in the command. So I'm already doing that, extrude surface. So we have different, you can see the extrude curve. We're not going to use it. If we try to use it, you'll see that we will not be able to extrude the rectangle. So we're going to be using the extrude surface. I'm going to click on it and you say select surface to extrude. So click on the rectangle and press enter when done. So enter, and I can put in my height. Let's say I want a height of 200, enter, and can turn on the shadow, and we can see that it's open because we didn't work on the command. So we can go back a little bit, can go back here, click on type in the command extrude surface once again, then select the object, enter, then make changes here. Solid, we want it to be a solid, so yes, we want a solid. Then select the point, let's put in 200 again, enter, and we can see it's now a solid. So there are a lot of ways to do this. So I'm going to show you another way to draw a cube or a cuboid. So using this same rectangular plane, corner to corner, I'm going to show you. So we draw a rectangle, then we select it. When you select it, there is an arrow here. The blue one is for vertical. So you can see a dot at the middle. The dot means something. When you click on the head and pressing a distance, is different from when you click on the dot. So right now I clicked on the head and let's put in 200, enter. We see the rectangle goes up to the height of 200. So let's just go back, Ctrl Z. So let's click on the dot now and type in 200 and see what's going to happen. So I've already clicked on the dot. If you didn't see that, let me do it again. So this is the dot. You can see it's highlighted at this point. So the dot is selected, and I'm going to type in 200 and enter. So now you can see that it's extruded. It's different from when you just click on the arrow and put in the number. So let's see how it looks. Let's see. You can see it's a solid. Don't even have to make changes while doing a cube or a cuboid with this type of setting. So I'm going to show you another way you can do that. This stuff I'm showing you just to show you how to maneuver around the whole interface, how to work like you know the software, that kind of a thing. I don't want it to feel like it's a very difficult software. I want you to see how flexible it can be. Don't think it's not flexible because it has this type of face. feel like you can do anything with it. Look at, if you're a SketchUp user, look at it as a SketchUp work. If you are a Revit user, look at it as you are working in your 3D mode, extruding using casement and model in place, or massing as well. So that's what I wanted to feel. That's the way we'll be able to go forward in this course. All right, so I'm going to show you another way to run it, to do the cube or the cube. All right, so I'm going to just click on, let's see if we can, let's use this for rectangle, but this one is not a surface. So let's see, it's not a surface. So this is just a rectangle. Let's see. So it's selected now. Let's see if we can use extrude surface or extrude curve to lift it up, so we can know whether it's a curve or a surface. So I got this rectangle from here, not here. There are different ways where you can get your rectangle. You can get it from here, or you can get it from here. You can even use the polylines to get it. So let's click on extrude. I feel like it's a curve. So let's see. So extrude. Let's start with surface. Extrude surface. So we click on it. It can't click. So let's try extrude curve and see what happens. So it's selected. So we can press the enter, and then it's already in solid, yes. Both sides, no direction and all that. So we can just choose a particular height we want, and we have it. So it's a solid. So we just used this rectangle. Now we have used a polyline to generate to do a solid. We have used the normal extrusion box, which you can see here. We have used the rectangle, which is a curve, and I've also used the one which is a surface. So I also want to show you another way you can get it using a tool known as loft. Loft is a very nice, I'll call it a plugin, because the way it works is just crazy. All right, so let's draw our rectangle and see. Okay, so I'm also going to show you this amazing tool you can use to create spaces or a box. So it's right here. The name is Loft. Loft is used to join lines in a very, how will I say it, in a very nice way. So I'm going to show you how you can use it to create spaces. Although sometimes it can be tricky. Sometimes. So I'd like you to pay attention as I do it. All right, so I'm gonna use the rectangle tool here. Just click. We have the rectangle here. So I'm just gonna duplicate. To duplicate, you need to hold the Alt key in Windows, Alt key, and press the arrow. Since we just want one to go up. Remember the difference in pressing the arrowhead or pressing the circle. So at this point, we're going to press the arrowhead, and then let's do it. Let's go 30 meters high. So you can see we are 30 meters high. So now to use the loft, I'm going to show you how tricky the lofts can be. So this is the loft. This is it. So click on it, and it says select curves to loft. So the curves, are the lines. Lines are curves here. So we select this and this. We want to join them together. So enter. So we have a plane here, and you can see it very well when we go to the shaded view. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to delete it and show you, because I know I had a challenge with creating lofts at the time. Sometimes it gives you something that you don't even want. So I'm gonna go back and try to create it again from another angle. So I'll show you how the angle affects your loft. So I'm gonna click the loft, I'm gonna click this, and then enter. So you can see what you have. So don't get scared. I also passed through this, so you can still check it and see how it looks like. So you can see, and this is not what we want. We want a space with just a rectangle, but it's giving us too much that we didn't ask for. So I'm going to go back. I just try to show you how the angle can affect your loft. You get, so because Rhino, I think it uses a lot of commands and it tries to read what you want to do. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna just go back and try it again from another angle. Okay, let's try it from this angle. Okay, let's try it from this angle. Let's try it from this angle. So don't get scared when you try it the first time and it doesn't work. Try it again. So I'm gonna enter now. You see, so I have this same slant again. So I'm gonna try it from another angle. Although I won't advise you to use lofts while just trying to get a box. There are other easier methods that I've already showed you that you can use and get a box. So I'll click on the wrong. So click this one and this one. So you can see our perfect rectangle formed. So don't panic when things like this happen. Just Ctrl Z and try again and try again and again. Don't give up. Okay, so we can see this little space here. So let's say we want to have here and here, then we want to leave here open. That means we are going to loft this line, this curve, and this curve. I don't know if you can see this curve and this curve, this curve and this curve, to enclose those side spaces. So we can just leave only here open. Maybe after that we can close it up so we can form a cone, a cuboid. So I'm gonna click on the loft command and I'm gonna enter. You see, we have that same issue. So just going to look for a better angle. I think this should be a good angle. This should be a good angle. I hope it works. Okay, there you have it. So we have gotten this part. So we are left with this part. So we are going to loft it also. So click on loft. So it says select the curve to loft. So click on this and just try and get a good angle at first time. So we have the same issue again. So just cancel it and try again. So when you're trying to get just a cuboid or a cube or something like that, something you can get using the normal extrusion, go ahead and do it the easy way. Don't be like me. I'm just trying to show you how you can do it using how you can get an open space. There are other ways to get it, but this is one way. Okay, so we have this here, and we can actually close it up if we want. I can close this up in so many ways, like so many ways. You can decide to pull this in. You can decide to pull this in. You can decide to pull this in. See, it's already closed up. So just try to do something. If it doesn't work out, then you Ctrl Z. Don't be scared to Ctrl Z. Your work will not spoil. So let me show you another way. I just pull this out. I just put this back to fill in the space and close up the open space. So let's use a rectangle. Let's use a rectangle so I can show you another way. So let's 3-point rectangle. Let's try this. But this is not it. So this is just a curve. So let's use this surface. Let's use the surface. Let's use this one. So it's already closed up. I don't know if you saw what I did, but it's already closed up. I used the rectangular tool here with the 3 points to close up the space. So that's another way. There are million ways you can do this. So let's see if we can let's use the loft again to close it up. So I'm gonna select the loft, click the point and enter. So I have that same issue again. So I'll change my angle, click on loft and enter. Same issue. So if you're at this point now and you want to close it up, you can just use the other methods I showed to close up the gap. I think I'll keep on getting this. So let's try one more. Let's try again. Just know you're the one at fault. When things like this happen, know you're the one at fault. Rhino is the one at fault. Don't blame yourself or panic or feel like you don't know what you're doing. Calm down and resolve it. Rhino is the one that doesn't understand what you want to do. So keep on trying to speak to it till it listens to you. Okay? So we have boxes drawn here. So there are other ways that you can draw a box, but we're going to stop here so we can do a very quick exercise. We're going to be modeling a table. So since we are done modeling some cubes and cuboids, I would like us to model some shapes that might be of help, just to show you how easy it can be to model solid shapes in Rhino. So we just need to click on solid, or you can even type in what you want in the command box. So, and don't be scared to go outside the origin. You can still work here. And if you eventually have your workspace so far from you, don't panic. Just can either with your mouse scroll out and scroll in, or you can pan it from here. Holding your shift and your right mouse key, and you can pan. So don't be scared of the interface. Try things out. Okay, so I'm gonna just model 1 or 2 shapes, and we're gonna do the little exercise that I want us to do. Alright, so for instance, if you want to model a cone, you just need to type in a cone. Cone in the command, and you can see a cone popping out. So it's already have the cone in our pointer. So you just need to select. It says select solid, yes. Vertical, yes, we want it to be vertical. Then fixed point. So we can just choose a random point, and then the accent for the diameter. Let's go for 300. Enter. Then take it up to whichever height you feel like. So let's leave it at 300 as well. That is a very short cone, but I'm sure you get the idea. So you can see how it's looking. So let us do a little. Let's see what we have done so far in the attic and see how it looks. So let's just go here, click the drop down, the attic, which is my favorite. Why is it not showing? If it's not showing from there, it's meant to show from here. Okay, so this is it. This is the models in active view. So you can also see them in rendered, looking fine with the shadows and all. So that is just it. Then you can also go to the active view from here. This is the option for it. So it mustn't be from here. It mustn't be from here. There are so many ways you can go about things in Rhino. You just have to be very conversant with the interface, and you find it a bit easy to maneuver. Alright, so let's get back to work, to the wireframe. Let's do one or two other shapes before we start what I want us to start. So let's create a truncated cone. So pick a point, a base. So I'm gonna pick this, then just choose the height, random height. Then another, I'll click my left mouse again, and we have a truncated cone. Although it's an inverted one, that is what I want. We can also do a regular truncated cone. Let's see how we can go about it. So I think you just around the radius, the difference in radius, that's what we tell. So let's say I make the radius of this 500, enter, take it up, then make the radius of the next one. Make the radius, let's say 100. Now we have a truncated cone, and we can look at it. You can see how it looks in shaded. So I want to show you how you can change the background of your rendered mode. For instance, you want to save this. You obviously can't differentiate between the object and the background because they are the same color. So I'll show you how you can change the background color, and also show you how you can add materials. I think we should do that before we go to the work I want us to work on. Alright, so to change the background, this is a property view. In case it disappears or you cancel it by mistake, so I'll just cancel it. So I'll show you how you can bring it back. So I'll just cancel this, and we can't find it here now, and we want to change the background. So you just have to come either here or here, this toggle layer, and just click on it, and you have the option here. This is the same thing that we just deleted, so you can just move it to the side so it doesn't obstruct our view. All right, so to change the background, you have to be in rendered. That's the only place that background shows, like the color of the background. So we have the view property here. We have the focal flow. We don't need this at this point, so we just have to go to rendering. This one right here is materials. I'll also show you how to apply materials, and here is layer. Okay, so this is the viewport. We don't really necessarily need the viewport at this point in time. This is the quality which you need while you want to render. So here, the backdrop. So it's in solid color. We can make change. You can put it in gradient if you want something like this. You can see the effect it's given. Then you can also choose a 3D environment. I don't have any here, so I can't really show you that. But let's toggle around the solid color. So to change the color, because it's selected but still we can't see a different color, so you just need to click this bar. Once you click it, you have a color wheel to select from. So let's say we want a red. This is too much, but this is how you go about it. So I think this is okay, because I always like to see my shadow while applying my background colors, so it doesn't overshadow my shadows. Okay, so I think we can go with this as the background color. So this is okay. This is okay. So if we want to use the gradient, we can switch it up. We can add a little yellow, something like that. Not that I use things like this, but I just want to show you how it works, because I'm more of a minimalist guy. I don't like adding too much, so I will just go with a solid color, or I'll go with a light gray and a dark gray. That works perfectly well. Okay, so I'm not going to leave it at this though. I'll just change it back to the solid color. All right, so let me show you how you can add materials to your objects. So we just need to click on each of them. We want to add material to this one. Go to layer, then you can click here. This means that this material now has this layer. So you can make it exceptional for just it by right clicking. I just like right clicked on the layer one, and you click on change object layer to make it exclusive. So now we have the material column here. So I'm just gonna click this circle here, this circle with the white color, and it's gonna load and open up a tab for me to select a material. So because this is just a default Rhino software, I only have the default materials. So I'm gonna be working with what we have here. So let's create a plastic. So we have options here. So I'll just go with the plastic. Then I'll select a color of my choice. Let's go with blue. Yeah, something like this. That's gonna be a very big color riot right now. I'm not really looking at that, so bear me for that. So this is a little editing panel. You can edit the reflectivity, the transparency, and the clarity. So I like to frame my reflectivity. Since it's a plastic, it should be reflective, but let's not make it too high or too low. So I'll just keep it at 78%. Then transparency, we'll leave it at 0. We don't want it to be transparent, or else we are trying to create a glass or anything of such. So clarity, I like to bring it down a little bit below the reflectivity. So you can play with this as much as you want. So you can see that it already has a material applied to it. So you can actually apply a material from let's say you downloaded a material, but I'm not gonna be talking about that. I won't talk about that in this course, maybe some other time. So let's also add a different material for this cone here. So as it's selected, we click and the same thing, right click on it and click on change object layer. So the color we add is now exclusive to it. So we can click on the white circle there to select a material, click on plastic, click on the color we want. Let's go for a gold color. Sorry for the whole color riot. Yeah. I think we should go with I want something you'll be able to see from the background because we have a very messed up background. Yeah, so toggle this a little bit, toggle this as well, and check. So you can see that. So the same applies for all of them. So let's see what happens when I click on this default. Let's see what happens. So let's select plastic as well. Change it to let's say red, dark red. Toggle this a little bit. Okay, so you can see this is the default. So we didn't make the colors exclusive. That's why these ones have exclusive materials. Their materials is just for themselves. So this is the default color that I just applied to all these things here. So that is how you can go about adding colors to the materials. So I also want to show you how you can hide a layer since we have already made some of them exclusive. I think when you're working in a very big file of Rhino, you might want to hide one or two things. So for instance, we have this as the layer one. Maybe we don't want to see it anymore. We just want to capture this, and this in our file of JPEG. We can just off the bulb right here and it disappears. So we just have this. So we can turn it back on. So I'll also show you how to duplicate. I've done that, but I'll show you how to do that again. So select on the object you want to duplicate, click on, hold down the Alt key, then click on any of the arrow, the direction you want it to go. If you want it to go this direction, you click on it, then put in a number, or you can just drag it. So it's your choice. Let's just put it like this. So this is not far enough, or you can just drag it out. So, or you can take it up, hold down Alt, then drag it up. I hope you can see that. So hold down Alt, drag it up. Then, for instance, we want to, let's see. Let's get something like this. So, for instance, let me show you how to rotate. So, if you look inside the gumball cursor, you find the normal direction, the vertical, probably the x-axis, and you have the yellow one, the red and the yellow. So let's control Z. So the blue is for rotating along the horizontal axis. You can see if I hold it down, I'm rotating, but you won't notice it because it's a cone. But if I use the red rotates along the vertical. So I've gotten this with that. So let's say I want to join them out together. I can look for the move key here. This is the move. I hope you can see it. Click on it, then place it, and you can see it on top of it. So just try out things that you don't know how to do, and you see yourself getting it done. Alright, so I think we are done with this phase. We'll quickly move into the work I would like us to do. So I will just close this. I'll just save it, close it, and open up a new file so we can do the work I would like us to do. Okay, display mode to wireframe. So I have to Ctrl S to save it, then click on File, New, Large Objects, Centimeters. Okay, so I said we're modeling a bookshelf. We're doing a little exercise where we'll get to model a bookshelf. So you're gonna see the picture down at the description. So you follow up with the model. Alright, so it's a curved bookshelf. It's a curved bookshelf, and we're going to be working in perspective. So we just have to maximize our perspective, and here it is. So we'll be starting with lines. If you look at the bookshelf, it looks like you can get the thickness. You can just extrude it from the side if you're able to get the pattern of the chair. If you're able to get the inverted S, which it forms, you'll be able to just extrude it. So our main aim now is to be able to get it in 2D. If we're able to get it in 2D, then we can make it a solid in a very easy way. Alright, so we're gonna be using this tool right here, this rounded rectangle. So you click on it. It's already in vertical because we want it to be in vertical. We are going up. Right, so select the start of edge. We want it to start at the origin. Then let's say 20. So I don't know why it's acting this way, but yes, 20, enter, then all right. So the height should be 40. That's really 40. I just need to arrange this my work plane so you don't get confused, or I don't also get confused. All right, so I've gotten the height, then I will click enter and enter to get the curve. So so I think I'll just start from the beginning so that we don't get confused. So I'll click on file, no, then we open up a new file. So click on perspective, maximize. So working here. So rounded rectangle, 0 as the first corner of the rectangle, that's the origin. Then I forgot to make it vertical. You can see it's on the horizontal axis, so I forgot to make it vertical. So I have to go back, escape, and select the command again. So rounded rectangle, then I'll click vertical, then the start point, origin, then 20 should be the width, enter, right click, take it up to the height, 40, enter, right click. I think I'm having issues there, but let's try it again. This should be very easy. So vertical, click on the drop down, click on rounded rectangle, 0 as the origin. Forgot to click the vertical again. So click the drop down, click on rounded, vertical, 0, 20, take it up, 40. Okay, so I think I made a little mistake. So we will look at it right now as I do it again. So click on the drop down rectangle, click on rounded rectangle. So click on rounded rectangle, click on vertical, start point, 0, enter. Then the width, 20, enter. Right click, then take it up, 40, enter. Left click, then taking your radius. So now we have this here. So to go further, we'll click on the curve tool for the sub curve. Click the sub curve, make sure your midpoint is ticked. Then you click on the select curve to be shortened. Click on this, then once you get to the midpoint, you get a signal at the midpoint. So you click on it, then go all the way to the other midpoint. Now you have shortened the curve to be able to get your shelf. So the next thing to do is to click here, click the drop down on extend curve, click extend by arc with center, click on the object, anywhere on the object. Make sure your auto is on so that it will give you a straight line. Then take the radius of the curve as 10. Then right click. Now you have this, stop it here, click on type, click on line, Then click on the line to get the top of the shelf. So let's make this 60. Then we have it stopping here. So we're gonna do another curve. Extend by arc with center. So you click on it. Take the radius as 10 again. Right click. Then stop it here. Click on type. Click on line. Click on it and drag it and enter 40 centimeters. Now you have just the sketch of what you want to get. That's why I told you, once you want to get something like this, you need to get just choose a view to get. Then you can extrude it towards this place so you can get a solid form. Alright, so after getting this, to be able to offset it, we need to select it. First of all, I need to escape. Then select it. Select the curve. Click on the drop down in curve tool. Then look for offset curve. Click on offset curve. Then I don't just want it to be like this, so I have to make changes to it. So I have to go to the command box where I get to select the distance I want. Loose, no. Corner, how do you want the corner to be? I want it to be flat. So okay, this is just corner. This is, I want it to be sharp. Then the trim is there, the tolerance to both sides. I want it to be on both sides. Then cap, put it at flat. Then we can just come here and click wherever we want, and we have the line being offset 1 centimeter from it. So with this line selected, we can just hide it so we can have a more defined curve to work with. Right now we have the front view. We just need to extrude it to be able to get a solid view. So in order to do this, we need to highlight the whole object, then click the drop down here. You'll see an option for extrude closed curves. So that is the one we're going with. We'll click on it. Then you can see the change in the extrusion. So we can also make changes from here. You can make it to be both sides. Right now it's on one side. You can make it to be both sides. Let's see how it is. This is both sides. You can see it extruding from the center point. So I don't want it to be on both sides. I want it to be on just one side. So I will just leave it at one side. Then there are other changes that you can make, but I just want to leave it at this. So I can select the point that it ends at. Let me put in 25. Enter. So now we are almost done. So to see how far we have gone, let's put it in the shaded viewport. So this is what we have just created. But we're not done. We still have little work to be done before our furniture is ready. Okay, so in order to continue, we'll have to take out this line here because it's not relevant at this point. We've already gotten our extrusion, so I'll just select the curve and click on delete, and it's no longer there. We still have our object. All right, so we have to work on this edge. This is too sharp. So to do that, we need to use our fillet edge. Fillet edge. So click on fillet edge. Then select edges. We'll select the whole thing. Then we can make changes here. I want to change the net radius. That is the radius of the curve at each edge. So I'm going to put it to the 2.25. That's a very little one, but it will work. So then that's all for the change. So after you're done with the command, you double click enter for your command to be imputed. So enter has been double clicked. I think what happened? There is a little error right here. So let's go back and see if we can see where it came from. Ctrl Z. So let's do the fillet edge once more. Okay, so we're gonna click on the fillet edge, and then it says you should select edges for the fillet. I'm gonna select all of them, and the next radius 0.25. Then press enter when done, enter, then press enter again. So I think the error from the other one was just a little malfunction. I don't know where it came from, but now you can see the difference in the edge. It's not looking that sharp any longer. So while working with Rhino, you should be realistic in terms of how you want your furniture to be. You need to finish it up to the best of your ability. So this is what we have in shaded. So we can see how it looks in Attic. We can see how it looks in rendered. So let's make it look a little bit more presentable by adding colors and adding a good background. So let's get to it. So shaded. So rendered. We can make this, can give it a nice color. Since we don't have any other objects we are dealing with, we can just make this default. Okay, so we can make it can take an orange color. Yeah, I think I like the feel of the orange color. Okay, I'm meant to take my material. So plastic color orange. I just like the way this orange is, so I'll just go with it. Then I will work on this a little bit, then I'll check it. So this is our bookshelf looking all polished and fine. So we can just put a little mild background to give it a good look. Maybe this is okay. So this is what we have. How to save it? It's very easy to save it. You can save it as a Rhino PDF. So you can just click on zoom extend to zoom into the object you're working on. Then click on print. When you click on print and this comes out, don't panic. You just need to change this from vector to raster. When you put it to raster, you get the colors in it. So we're gonna put this in landscape so it looks more presentable. Then you can increase the resolution. I like putting my own in 1000, but it's my handle system, so be careful with what you do. If you have a good system, you can increase it, you can go above, you can even get it up to 2000. So this is like the final look. So this is a Rhino PDF, which can save it as, can also save it as an image, can also save it. The Rhino PDF can be imported into Adobe files, so it's just like a normal PDF. Alright, so that's how you save it. So we can decide to make a duplicate of what we just created. Since we're done with the model, let's try to make it more presentable. So remember when I showed you how to duplicate, you just need to hold the Alt key and drag the arrow in the direction you want it to move the duplicate. So we have the duplicate here. So I'd like us to rotate it so we can give it a different view. So just rotating this blue one. Then we can move it towards this one a little bit so that there is contrast. I think we can leave it like this. We can work with this. Okay, so I'll show you how to change color once again, how to add material once again. So you just have to click on the toggle layer panel on top. Once you click on it, this is already, you click on the object you want to change the material. I would like us to leave this one. We'll have to change this one. So it's already checked. So you right click on change object layer. Then I made this before, but you can, let's say we want to change the color again. So you just have to click on the circle. Then let's go for this. So let's go for this. Okay, this is already there. The effectiveness and the clarity is already in set. So this is what we have. So it's basically not that difficult. You just had to get the view of the shelf in elevation, that kind of a thing. We had to get a line first of the curve. After that, we now made an offset of 1 centimeter on each side, which gave us a total of 2 meters for the thickness of the shelf. And with that, we now had to hide the line in the middle of the defined curve, which now gave us a very good curve, which we had to extrude on one side to get a solid bookshelf. So you can see how it's looking. I've already showed you how to save your work and how to zoom extend, which brings you closer to the work you have done and all that. So that brings us to the end of this course. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you learned how to add materials to your Rhino objects. I hope you learned how to differentiate between curve and surface in Rhino, knowing that the curve has a different way of edit to the surface. They have different commands, so you have to be very conscious of that. I hope you learned how to extrude different objects. I hope you learned at least 5 ways of drawing a box. I also hope you learned how to use the loop tool in order to join lines, and I also hope you learned how to be patient with the Rhino software, because sometimes it can be a bit frustrating, but you have to delete it and try again, Ctrl Z and try again, just like I did while trying to use the loop. Yeah, so it deals with the view by using the loft tool. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be coming with more videos. So have a great day. Bless.